Hey guys, Ken here from the Retro Toyscapades channel in Malaysia. 2 weeks ago, Mattel gave us a full week of announcements on the new Masters of the Universe releases for 2022, including that of a Teela and Zoar Fighting Falcon 2-pack. Big Bad Toy Store now has a listing for the 2-pack up on their website for a pre-order, and this thing has a price tag of USD $29.99 and an estimated arrival date of end quarter 2022. Well, they've also posted up a whole ton of pictures of the set, including new pictures not seen during the Mattel reveal. So it seems like this thing could be ready to go anytime. One thing that we can see more clearly now is the whole front of Teela's face. And from the front, it looks pretty much like a similar sculpt to that of a Wave 1 Origins release from 2020. But there are some definite revisions to the sculpt, and we'll get to that in just a short while. Teela gets an all-new paint decor with some very nice gold finishing, and while the snake headdress, the staff and the shield are reused from a previous release, the sword is an all-new weapon accessory. And this is a great add-on, the sword, alright, making this perhaps the best Teela release to date. Now the sword here looks to be an all-new sculpt. I don't believe that this was ever put out with any other MOTU Origins release prior to this. Now this sword looks very nice, alright. It's large and it's got some pretty sweet looking detailing on it. In fact, the detailing here looks very reptilian-like, just like the snake staff, alright. It matches that of the snake staff that Teela carries. However, it does not match the more traditional looking sword that Teela was last seen holding in the cardback artwork for the Clawful action figure. This was where she was using the sword to defend herself against the merciless tag team of both Clawful and Whiplash. Teela was all alone here, alright, against these two monsters, with no sign of Zoar to help her. Where were you, Zoar? Zoar? Now they also gave us a comparison photo here and an all-new shot from the back of the figures, alright, from the back of Teela and from the back of Zoar. And you can see clearly here that Teela has an all-new sculpt for a hairdo. It's still in that bun and ponytail, but just that this time around the ponytail is a separate piece. It's separated from the rest of her head. It's just hanging above there like that, and it just looks so much better compared to the Wave 1 Origins Teela figure where they had the bun and sort of like the ponytail was just like sort of like tied up and meshed, kind of like just meshed together into the back of her head there. It kind of looked like red cabbage or something, but this time around the sculpt just looks so much better, making this a highly desirable Teela figure to own. Now, I talked about the Zoar images in my video from 2 weeks ago when they first revealed these shots here of the Fighting Falcon, and I mentioned how I thought that Zoar just looked really boring because it was just too similar looking to the version that was in the vintage line. And I was expecting some improvements here, alright, especially after what we got with things like Stridor and just basically everything else, the Wind Raider, everything, alright. There's always like a sign of huge improvements. While we can't tell for sure, I think, whether this Zoar has anything that's improvement over the vintage, but from what it looks like here, it looks pretty much like the same deal, alright? The same sculpt, the same battle harness, the same perch, everything looks about the same. And the new image that we have here is actually, if you were to look at the back of the figure, you'll see that Zoar's got that button, that huge button that's sticking out of the back of his right leg there. That's basically the button to activate the action feature that allows his wings to start flapping. So this is obviously something that they've carried over from the vintage, and they've retained that feature here as well. So that's good, but there's no real indication whether there's any added articulation here on the legs. There could be some added articulation on the feet. Maybe the feet are on ball joints, all right? We can't tell at this moment. But one thing that I did wonder was if this particular interpretation of Zoar was in fact gonna be bigger. All right, that's probably one direction they could take the thing into. All right, make it bigger than the vintage. So far, they seem to have upscaled everything. All right, from the vintage. Even the land shark was like just so much freaking bigger than the original. So yeah, Stridor was bigger. The Wind Raider, hell yeah. So I mean, maybe they might make something like Zoar here bigger than the vintage as well. What do you guys think? Anyway, these are the images that they shared so far. Let me know in the comments if the new photos are making you even more excited to pick up this set, or maybe you guys have already pre-ordered it. Let me know as well, alright? And thank you for joining me once again. I'll catch you guys soon with more content. Take care out there.